They told me Sol 3's bipeds were weak. The council handed me the assignment as though it were a child's puzzle. Observe their habits, prod their brains, publish findings. I sharpened my quills, prepared to expose humanity as a footnote in galactic history. I was ready to prove that these creatures who worship hamburgers and communicate with emojis were not a civilization at all, but a prolonged biological accident. The initial observations confirmed my thesis. Their broadcasts were chaos. They recorded each other bickering over meaningless rituals called reality television, where grown adults wept about spilled condiments. They willingly ate something called microwave burritos, packets of sludge designed, I assumed, to test digestive endurance. And they spoke often of a mythical warrior named Florida Man, whose exploits range from wrestling reptiles to marrying inflatables. Surely this was parody. Our target was simple: a solitary male, mid-30s, camping by a riverbank. He poked at a fire, hummed softly, surrounded by primitive tools and a glowing handheld device. A perfect specimen, quiet, unremarkable, disposable. We immobilized him, lifted him aboard, and placed him in containment. My assistants laughed when I rehearsed my opening lecture. Subject displays no remarkable qualities, save for questionable sock patterns. That was when his eyes opened, not with terror, not with confusion, with amusement. He smiled at me, teeth bared like a predator. So, he said, voice steady, "You're the professor." My assistants flinched. I straightened, unwilling to be rattled. I informed him he was a specimen, a lower creature to be studied. He tilted his head. "Specimen, huh? Funny. I was thinking the same thing about you." We began cognitive assessments. Normally, humans failed quickly. This one dismantled our puzzles before they loaded. He identified harmonic patterns by humming them. He mapped visual mazes faster than our software. Worse, he narrated while solving. "Your scanner runs infrared. That one's your navigator. And him? Muscle. Obvious." He chuckled. "You guys really should lock your consoles." My crew shifted. I reminded them this was bluff coincidence. Yet the human leaned casually against the containment field and quoted something incomprehensible. "Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the earth down." He winked. I recorded the phrase for later analysis, but felt unease. We increased brain scans. Results were irregular. His neural pathways fired with intensity beyond our models. I muttered into my recorder. Clearly the machine malfunctions. This is the same species that invented duct tape, a sticky strip they believe can solve all mechanical failures. He laughed. "Duct tape works. You don't get it yet, but you will." I demanded to know how he stayed calm. He shrugged. "Counterintelligence training. Ex-military. These days, I test security systems. Yours aren't bad, just predictable." His tone was conversational, as if lecturing us. My thorax tightened. Then the lights flickered. Consoles sputtered. Our ship's AI glitched, voices overlapping. My assistant scrambled. The human simply smiled wider. "Neat trick, huh? Your skin beam?" I piggybacked a signal on it while you thought you were reading me. "Reversed the polarity, mapped your systems." I insisted this was impossible. Yet bulkheads sealed one by one. Crew members found themselves isolated in compartments. Our AI announced, containment compromised, though containment shimmered untouched. The human tapped the glass. "You locked me in here. Didn't realize you also locked yourselves out." I demanded his purpose. He shrugged again. "Just wanted to see how far you'd get. Earth plays dumb, you know. We let people think we're primitive. Easier that way." He leaned closer, voice dropping. "But we've got satellites you can't see. Listening posts in deep space. Defense nets you'd never guess. You thought you were hunting? Maybe you're the test subjects." The chamber grew unbearably quiet. My arrogance, my polished sarcasm, all drained like coolant from a breach. For the first time, I studied him not as a specimen, but as a mirror reflecting our naivety. He had turned captivity into interrogation, flipped predator into prey without raising his voice. He gave one last cryptic line. "Florida Man?" He wasn't an anomaly. He was training data. We stared, too unnerved to ask. He smiled once more, calm, patient, knowing. I end my log here with a confession I never expected to record. We claimed humans were weak, a joke in the cosmos. Yet this one lifted our entire perception, placed it on his shoulders as easily as he might a predator's corpse, and smiled as though it weighed nothing. We thought them primitive. But if deception is strength, if unpredictability is a weapon, then humanity may be the most dangerous species we have ever encountered. And I, the great professor, am afraid.